Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social Season 2, Episode 12. We are your hosts, Maz, Ben and Ryan. How are we, chaps? We all good?
Yeah, mate. We've fallen from cloud nine.
Yeah.
We peaked at episode 59. That's all downhill from here.
Do you know what was mad actually? It was episode 11, wasn't it? And we had Anthony Knockout on, number 11. I thought that was pretty crazy. I don't know. Yeah, it was I only realised it.
Yeah,
it was episode 11 of season 2, wasn't it? And we had a number 11,
right,
Anthony Knockout. I was like, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I only realised it once I watched it back. So
Yeah.
And also, Knockout season 2 in real life. That was when he moved to number 11 as well.
that's a good point as well. Look at that.
Look at
that's
that.
weird.
The stars have aligned. The stars have aligned.
Spooky Halloween.
Well, boys, after the high of Knockout, we even went higher with the result against Liverpool. What a result! Like, I thought second half we were unbelievable.
Unplayable.
The best I think. Well, the best I've seen.
Second half merchants, aren't we? We're becoming second half merchants, and I mean, it's good that we're actually getting back, and we actually got back and done it. Obviously, against City, it was going to be a bit harder, but yeah.
That's the thing. I thought after it went 2-0. Well, no, the 3-0 disallowed goal. I thought, here we go, Man City all over again. 3-0 done. Like, game over. What's the point? But then fair play, got disallowed. A bit soft. We'll also get into it. But then we played brilliantly after that. And Ryan, we'll start with you, mate, because you were at the game.
You travelled up to Scousland.
Yeah, behind enemy lines. Maz Part 2. How was that?
Unconventional way of watching football. Actually, it was really it was good fun. Actually, it went in the corporate end, and I was actually being told by some fake account. Someone made a fake account on Twitter. It was like, "How come your fans make football and you're sitting in the corporate end?" As if you'd say no, mate. Yeah. Would you rather not go to the game? And you'd say no to those tickets?
No, of course.
I didn't think so.
Listen, Ryan. I'm 100% with you. Like, I don't care as long as I'm watching my team. That's the main thing for me.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have wanted to go if I was sat in the cop. I think I would have not gone then. I think I would have said, fair enough, I'm not going.
That would have been a bit tough.
Because I said because it was the corporate, it's like you're all right because they're all like most of them.
Yeah, no one.
But if I was in the main end, I'd have been a bit like. Maybe not. Probably.
We've all experienced behind enemy lines now, because I was 2 years ago, went to Old Trafford and I was sat literally right on the corner from Stretford End. I've said the story in the podcast before. And then Maz, you've obviously been Palace somehow. Managed to survive 90 minutes in that, and Ryan, you've now done it for Liverpool. Well, corporate was probably a bit easier, but
corporate was easier. Definitely, corporate was easier. But no, to be fair, like the guys next to me, so there's actual Scousers like around me, so they're actually Liverpool fans, and they were. Mate, some of the opinions was hilarious. They were saying about how Lewis Dunk, how is he a Premier League footballer, should never be a defender in the Premier League. I was like, what? And I was trying not to bite. I was like, okay. And then there was another stupid thing they said about, but to be fair, one player they picked out, everyone was talking about was Trossard, and no one knew who he was, which is so weird to us, well, to me anyway, because it was just like they were like, who's that number 11? Like he's really good. I was just thinking,
it's actually crazy you say that, isn't it? Like he's literally one of our best players, and they're like, who is he? I've never seen him before. Yeah, and also, they probably say that about Lewis Dunk because when we played in the FA Cup, he scored like a hat-trick of own goals, didn't he? So they probably got that in the back of their mind there every time they see him.
In defence to like a few Liverpool fans, so I was on the Grizz Khan channel, who's obviously a big Liverpool fan, and to be fair, him and two others I was on with. They were literally all waxing lyrical about Trossard. They even talked about obviously Bissouma being an unbelievable player. Like they to be fair to them, like their knowledge was really good on Brighton. They'd actually done their research and they actually watch our players. So I think it's a select few that don't watch us like week in week out and don't know how good we are really. But yeah, carry on, Ryan.
So I spoke to them because they sort of realised because obviously the first goal went in Henderson first 5 minutes, and I sort of had to stand up when they scored because everyone around me was going and I was just like. And I was just sitting there like this.
Do I fit in?
Yeah,
and I was sitting there like this. And then I was like, hang on a minute, I've got to stand up, innit? So I was there, and then I just sat back down again. And then I caught the eyes of people quite quickly. Like, everyone was like, why isn't he celebrating? And then, obviously, I didn't sing Never Walk Alone or anything. And then they scored their second goal, and I was there like this. And then that's when the people were like, he's a Brighton fan. So then that's when, to be fair to them, they were actually really nice about it. Like, they were just, having a bit of banter. And
in corporate, showing emotion, you're just kind of frowned upon anyway, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're not allowed to sing really or anything.
It wasn't like a box, it was still like a stand, with seats and proper.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But you've got the lounge sort of thing, so you go back to the lounge and then you have your fancy dinner. But then in the actual seats, it was still proper seating like you would.
Okay.
But it was just it's kind of weird. But to be fair, like they were actually really nice about it, and they were just saying, you've actually played really well. Fair play, good game. Because as we say, go on.
So just one question I wanted to ask you, Ryan, because basically it was a thing made very big on social media was when the Brighton fans started singing "Where's your special atmosphere?" or "Where's your Anfield atmosphere?"
Where's your famous atmosphere?
What was what was it like in the stadium? Was it actually like as bad as everyone was making out, or?
Yeah, silent, completely silent.
It's where it always is when we play MO, isn't it?
Yeah, like
and I get that. I do understand why, but at the same time, if you're a good football fan that you say you are, you should sing your heart out, even if you're playing against like Wrexham or someone like that. You should be, you should be.
I mean, mate, I went to
making
Norwich
noise
away.
no matter who you're playing.
Yeah, I went to Norwich away and they were louder than Liverpool, and that's mad to say. But yeah, genuinely they were so quiet, and true actually. But yeah, even when they were 2-0 up, like there was just nothing to it at all. But then you could tell there was like parts of it there. You could tell they could be loud if they wanted to be. It was just a bit flat because obviously if you go 2-0 up, the game just goes a bit stale. And obviously second half we came back into it. I think particularly after that third goal was disallowed, that's when we really got into it. I think the first 2 goals were just 2 moments of pure quality. Like there was nothing we could really do about it. That ball from Oxlade-Chamberlain was unreal, like genuinely pinpoint.
Cross,
and
that was sick.
Yeah, so everyone was like really bigging it up, and to be honest, I was just there like fair play. Like you have completely torn us apart for the first 25 minutes, and I was thinking we're going to get absolutely torn apart.
But there's the beginning though, Ryan. How did you not react? Like Mark just put through a goal within 3 minutes by Trossard. Great ball, by the way. How you must have been like, oh my god, like inside.
My heart was like this. Like I was like, oh my god, because I was just trying to be there because I'm quite loud at games anyway, like not like swear and shout all the time, but like I get behind the team a bit and I want to chant when something happens. But like I was just there like this, and then when Mwepu scored, like because it was such a crazy goal.
Oh yeah, imagine how you can't celebrate that.
I could sort of talk about it because it was such a mental goal. Like everyone around us was like, "Oh my god, that's mad!" So I was there that's a crazy. Like everyone was just like, so I was just trying to sort of blend in a little bit.
Do you two reckon he actually meant it? Though?
Yeah, I was just about to ask a question. Cross,
I think he did.
Cross or goal? What do you think?
Do you? Yeah,
I think
no one was really in the box, was there? Yeah, I do genuinely think it was.
I'm trying to decide now, like.
He hit it so hard, and I watched the all angles on, didn't they? And like it looked like he was looking at the goal when he sort of looked up. But yeah, mate, what?
Do you know what?
That was like
benefit of the doubt, we'll give it to him. We'll say.
I genuinely think, I do think it was a goal. If you look at who's in the box, there's literally no one, and he's like you said, Ryan, he already had a look. So like, if he would have seen that there's not really any options in the box.
I mean, Hudson was off his line, wasn't he? So I think he just went for it, and it was a fantastic strike. He couldn't have connected with it.
So good.
But final thing on Anfield anyway. Probably it was my first time at Anfield, but probably my favourite big ground I've been to. I've been to pretty much all the big grounds in Europe as well. But I'd say that is genuinely, it's such a nice stadium, it's so compact. Yeah, I'd say so. It's so compact. So I reckon on a Champions League night, like when it goes rocking, I reckon that place will be mad.
I was going to say, that's the thing, because I said it before the game, I was like, Champions League nights, because I was comparing the fact that when we beat them 1-0 last season, there was no crowds, remember, obviously it was during lockdown, so there was no crowds, and before the game, I not on this podcast, but on another sort of chat I was on, I said, will the crowd have a big impact on the game, because obviously it's going to be a full house, the Anfield atmosphere, all that kind of stuff, but then obviously, it didn't really impact. Well, it didn't have much of an impact. So it was interesting to see the difference between having a full stadium and not. But Champions League nights, I think it's the different level because
I think that'd be mad.
I think they're like expanding both stands. I think one of the stands, like one of the it's not the stand behind the goal, but I think it's the other one that's not so big. I think they're doing another tier there. And then another stand behind one of the goals. I think they're extending that as well. So it's going to be even bigger soon.
As I say, it's so compact, it's a big ground, like really big ground, but it's so compact, so you could see why it creates the atmosphere that it does. So whereas when you've got like West Ham away, for example, if you've been to West Ham away, their ground is so open that there's no way you can create an atmosphere there because it's just so big. It's too big for it, and it just looks stupid. Whereas if you've got, it's quite simply not a football ground. It's probably the worst ground I've ever been to is West Ham. Because it's so
hard to make Olympic stadiums feel like a proper. In Italy, they've got loads, haven't they? And like Rome and who's it? Lazio share the same one, don't they?
Yeah,
they do quite a good job of it because they kind of do fill it out a bit round nearer to the pitch. But yeah, I hate Olympic stadiums.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the let's go back to the game then, boys, and then with regards to the obviously, so we'll forget about the first two Liverpool goals. Let's not really dwell on that. But let's talk about a big talking point, of course, which impacted the game massively, was the disallowed goal by Mane. Now, I've seen it. To be fair, I'll kick us off. Well, why not? Just because I've got a point of view on this one. I thought it was a bit soft. Like, it was handball. Like, by the letter of the law, it's hit his hand, so it is a handball, right? However, like, I just felt like the way, because for me, it's about the rules, not so much that incident, but it's about the rule. Like, we have to look at it. It's like, could he have done anything to get his arm out of the way? I would argue probably not. Because of it was a natural sort of.
But it changed the direction of the ball. Like, if it hit his leg and then skimmed off his arm, I feel like would have been unfair. But because it literally rebounded off his arm towards the goal.
Yeah. No, his arm scored the goal. I'm not saying
that can't be a goal.
Yeah, his arm just.
I'm not saying like it should have been allowed or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I can see why maybe, because I saw a lot of Liverpool fans going, "Oh, it wasn't handball, blah blah blah," and I can see their point of view, but
I can see why they might think it's harsh, but also
yeah. But by the letter of the law, it is a handball. Yeah. Like, simple as that. It is handball.
To be fair to the Liverpool fans around me, they actually said at the time that's handball. They said, this isn't going to be given.
And Mane didn't complain either, did he?
Mane actually admitted it.
Mane laughed and tapped his arm, didn't he? Yeah.
Like,
it saved Sanchez's blushes, didn't it? That was
I
know we were playing it risky around the back, and it was fine. And then
the
ball went to Sanchez, and it was literally played along the line. I was like, okay, this is actually playing with fire now.
Yeah,
Salah and Mane closed him down quickly.
Let's talk about Sanchez, because obviously we're like every week we praise him so much, and he is an unbelievable keeper. I'm not taking anything away from him because he is class. However, he still has his shaky moments, doesn't he? I think
I've seen Twitter started and mention it now as well. So a few Brighton fans are tweeting the fact that he's got a mistake in him now. It seems like ever since we questioned it. Even since we said that he hasn't got a mistake in him, he now suddenly has had a couple.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just lack of concentration? Like, what do you think, Ryan?
I think 3 weeks now. 3 weeks now. He's given the ball away a lot. His short passing, I don't know what it is. He's just completely gone off the boil. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. Maybe he's got battered by City, conceding 4, and obviously come up against Liverpool, big ground, all that sort of thing. He's quite new to it all, isn't he? The big stadiums and fans in the grounds and all that sort of thing. He only played at Forest Green with fans before that and Rochdale, so this is probably new to him. Yeah. But at the same time, he's been quite poor, I think. I think he's... I don't know what's happened to him. I think, particularly in the City game, he was giving the ball away a lot. And to begin with, in the Liverpool game, it was scaring me every time he was getting the ball.
That Maz said, though, wasn't it? Maz said it was the most a goalkeeper's ever distributed, wasn't it? Since records began, which kind of shows if you're going to do that many passes in a match, you're not going to get all of them right.
That's a fact.
The one of them that did work really well, obviously, set up our second goal, that little drill to Cucurella out.
Yeah, that's
this is the point. So this is the point I was trying to make. So I know The Athletic, they did an article today, and shout out to Andy Naylor and Matt Podrowski, I believe his name is. Podrowski. They did an article basically pinpointing his aggressive style of passing and what made him so good. So basically analysing his style. So the media love him. They all think he's he's going to be great. And I know obviously Naylor's a little bit biased maybe, but they're all saying that he's going to become this sort of top class goalkeeper, which I agree with. But at the moment, I feel like he does have that moment of lapse of concentration, as we saw with Mane, as we saw at Man City when he dropped the ball. He has recently, he's got that little bit of error in him, which is not, I used to be so confident with him, but then sometimes I look at him and I'm like, oh God, like,
I think saying that he's poor would be harsh. I still think he's made a few mistakes, I'm still buzzing to have him as my goalkeeper.
Of course.
Obviously it's just more recently against the two big teams, he's made a key mistake. And luckily for him, the Mane one was handball. Otherwise that probably would have really hit his confidence if that had fucked up as well in front 100%. Of the cop.
No, 100%. Then moving on then. So as we said, boys, first half we go into it 2-1, which obviously the Mwepu screamer, and I felt like, I think I said this off air when we got to when it was the 3-0 disallowed goal. I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be. I think I might have said it earlier in the thing. It's it's going to go left. We're going to absolutely get battered again. It's going to be Man City 2.0, etc., etc. However, we came out fighting, and what a goal it was by Lionel Trossard. What a goal!
Yeah, Lionel Trossard.
Mate,
is that bleach blonde hair, mate? As soon as he has bleach blonde hair, he just turns into Messi when he had bleach blonde hair.
Mate, the feet for that goal, so good.
Well, the whole build up was unbelievable.
Yeah, what was it like in the stadium when that goal went in?
Yeah, no, it's a good pot of ball. I think that whole move was nice. Trossard deserved it. I thought he was really, really good that game. I thought he was probably our best player on the pitch. Really, him and Mwepu were just different class. I think for us, Lallana as well. Actually, Lallana was key to pretty much everything. Again, what a surprise!
His chance as well. His chance as well.
Yeah, he had a chance. Yeah.
Had a big chance.
Wasn't the best shot, was it? But it was, it was a decent save. But to be honest, Lallana, I'm not expecting him to be a clinical striker, so I can't really put too much on him.
Well, I think we've seen that, haven't we? I think we've seen that he's missed quite a few key chances throughout the time at Brighton. I feel like
I'm not going to get on Lallana for that because I think everything he does is with quality. I think he's probably the best quality player we've ever had. I'd say him and Vicente probably the best quality players we've ever had. He is just different class to what we've ever seen, honestly. When you watch him in the stadiums, when you watch him what he does on and off the ball, he's just different class. But I think he's a big factor in what Leo's been doing as well. I
was just about to say that.
Yeah, he gets the best out of these players. And I said it about him and Pascal Gross at the beginning of the season. He seems to just get the best out of these people, particularly the midfielders. And obviously, Trossard was playing on his own up there. And I thought that he just made everything happen, really. Yeah, the false nine.
How mad that we played no recognisable striker against Liverpool, and which is kind of what they do. They normally play false nine with Firmino. And it works so well. Like whenever Trossard would then kind of like make a run to the wing, it'd be like Lallana and Mwepu, Cucurella, like March would all just flood the box. It worked. It worked so well against one of the best defences in the Premier League.
You can see the gaps as well. I feel like Potter. We got to give credit where credit's due. I feel like Potter really recognised the fact that Fabinho, they were missing Fabinho, who's usually that sits in front of the defence. So the gaps between Van Dijk and Konate to the midfield of the midfield three they had, I feel like Trossard found the gaps really well. In between those lines, especially with Fabinho being missing. I feel like that was a sort of integral part of what Potter did to tell Trossard just sort of go into that space. So I thought, credit to Potter. And also, I really like I said before the game, I really like that midfield three of Moda, Lallana, and Basuma. Because I feel like it is a nice balance. It was a really nice balance between.
I'm going to pick up on that actually, because obviously Basuma was really good, football basis. Basuma was really good. I thought Mwepu was fantastic, but.
Yeah,
Moda. I haven't been impressed with Moda, particularly the last couple of weeks. I think it seems
when he starts, he doesn't start well, does he?
Yeah, I didn't think he was very good. I thought if there's anyone that was probably our weak link against Liverpool, it's probably Moda. I think again, it's a shame because I love Moda. I always go on about him, and I'm not going to get on his back. But I think particularly the last few weeks, he's definitely been out of his depth. I think he was out of his depth against Manchester City, and obviously they are different class. They are going to pick you apart whenever they can. Liverpool the same, but obviously Liverpool, as you say, without Fabinho, without Keita after a particular moment in that time. I think it was like the first 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah. So, obviously, I think Moda's just been a bit off it, really.
Since Arsenal, really, wasn't it? I remember against Arsenal, I think that was probably, I can't remember, was it Palace we played after them, or was it Palace before them?
No, Palace
played
before,
Arsenal.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
was it? Well, since Arsenal, I don't really remember Moda continuing his form.
He hasn't had a good game for a while.
Yeah, when I tweeted that was before. Just to clarify, it was before the game. I was like, I really like the midfield three when I saw it on paper. But no, I agree. I think Moda has been a bit underwhelming, but I think we still forget he is very young. What is he? 21, 22?
I think he's
around that age.
I think he's just out of his depth. I think he's just out of his depth at the moment. I think playing against these sort of teams, he's out of his depth. But then we haven't really had much of a choice before. To say the last two games, we haven't really had much of a choice in that. So
let me start with you then, Ryan. Let's going into the next game against Newcastle. Then let's say we play the same formation, so three in the middle. Who would you want to see in that three in the middle? I'm assuming keeping Basuma and Lallana, but then bringing in someone from Moda. I'm assuming.
I'd still keep Mwepu in there because I thought he was pretty much key in everything, but I'd have Alexis McAllister. I thought when he come on again in a deeper role, he played in a deeper role against Leicester as well. fantastic again. He came on and didn't look out of place at all. And I really, really, really like McAllister. I think he's so good. I think he's so quality. And I keep saying about his potential, but I feel like he's a good player now. And I feel like he's ready to start now. And I think
consistently as well, yeah.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a bad game in a long time. I think this season he hasn't had a bad game. I think it's time for McAllister to start. I'd drop Moda. I'd have him. I'd have Mwepu. I'd have Bissouma. And I'd probably have Lallana still in there too. I think dropping Gross and Mope worked well, which is crazy to say.
I was just about to say, I would say maybe drop Mope and bring Alexis in and keep Trossard false 9 for the time being anyway, because I feel like Trossard's going to be on. I'd be really interested to see if he plays that same formation.
I'll tell you what,
and plays Trossard against Newcastle like that.
Yeah, coming up against Newcastle, we did a similar thing last season, didn't we? Where we had, I think it was Welbeck, Mope, and Trossard front three. They basically interchanged in all three positions the whole way through the game, and it literally took them apart.
Yeah, that was one of our best performances as well.
Yeah, I'd say attacking wise, I would go back to that as probably one of the best Potter masterclasses in attacking we've ever done against Newcastle last season, because we just had him completely every single time we come forward. We were just taking him apart.
Lamptey was incredible that day, wasn't he? Lamptey was incredible that day. I remember.
No, I'm talking about the home game.
This is the home game. Yeah.
Oh, the home game. Sorry, I thought you meant the away game.
I mean, both of them, both performances, we absolutely banked him as well.
Yeah, that first one was good too. But I mean,
such a good away game.
The home game, the home game in terms of just how we took them apart with those three. So I think, if you're right, I think if we had Trossard playing a bit deeper again, obviously we've now got the likes of Cucurella, however people are going to take the mick out for saying it.
Cucurella.
I don't know. I just love our team at the moment. I think back to front.
Who pocketed Salah, by the way? Pocketed Salah in the
we'll stay away from
Salah. I agree with the Brighton admin. I think he pocketed Salah. People would say, "Oh yeah, we got an assist." He got an assist in the first 5 minutes, and it was a little run
and an offside goal.
He's still got an assist though. What? So if someone scores a goal in the first 5 minutes, does that not count anymore? Does that just get?
Doesn't mean you pocketed. It doesn't mean that he hasn't been pocketed though. It means that he's had. No, but he's passed the ball across. That's not. He hasn't done anything else. He's done literally nothing.
Personally, my interpretation of being pocketed is when you have zero effect on the game.
Zero effect.
Zero. Yeah. Whereas I feel like he has had an effect. That's just my interpretation.
What I can see for the Brighton admin, the reason why he probably done it is because compared to most left backs, Salah's I think he scored 10 goals this season already. So most left backs have struggled.
He scored 10 goals in 10 games in a row, and then we were the
10
first
games in a row. Yeah. And so let's think back to all those left backs that he's played against. Cucurella's the first one to make him not score.
Look average. Yeah. But just going back to the...
Is that triple captain curse that some of the Brighton fans done? Well played.
Just quickly going back to the middle three, Ben. What change would you make if you were to make any change to that middle three?
You know what? I want to give Moda a bit of slack here. I think we're probably comparing him to the players that are actually overperforming. Like Mwepu stolen the show. Bissouma came in and finally had a good game again. Lallana was quality. All the other players were great. And Moda was just that player that just sat behind a bit in the match ratings a bit. I don't know. I would probably keep him still. I feel like he do you? But I just feel like if we're bringing in maybe another attacking option, then it might upset the balance. I think there's a good balance there with him.
That's fair.
I wouldn't really change much.
I think Alexis has done really well deeper. I think was it Liam Albion Analytics put some stats on. It might have actually been Alec. Maybe I don't even know. It was one of the scouting.
No, I think it was one of the Albion Analytics. I think it was Albion.
Yeah,
Analytics.
something like that. One of the two stat boys, who both have class accounts, by the way. So shout them boys. But they put on the phone. I think it was some mad stats. I can't even remember them, to be honest. But yeah, he was basically winner in everything, pretty much all around the pitch. Yeah, go for it. But yeah, he I think it's McAllister against Leicester and against Liverpool. He was excelling in a deeper role, I think is what they put. And I agree. I thought, watching the game, I thought he was very comfortable. And bear in mind, he's still up against the likes of Jordan Henderson and even Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I thought was quite good against us. He looked comfortable, and it's not his natural position, but he's shown he can also drive it forward and, be a bit more of a box-to-box. I'd say Mwepu is more of a goal-scoring box-to-box, but I think McAllister definitely has it in him to be one too.
Yeah.
Interesting shout. All right, so he's got, I think, is this the one? So it's Alexis McAllister in all competitions this season, 374 minutes played. What's that say? 4.2 full 90 minutes. Boy, I mean, that's gone over my head. 18 direct shot involvements, so 10 shots, 8 key passes, 12 tackles and interceptions, which, yeah, that's quite impressive for an attacking midfielder. 8 dribbles, 5 direct goal involvements, 2 goals, 3 assists. Big Mac. I like a Big Mac. Good finish. Yeah, not bad stats. Big Mac.
Yeah, no. I'm with Ryan. I really like the look of McAllister. I feel like, yeah, if it was anyone to come into that midfield, I'd want it to be McAllister. Yeah, he oozes. He just gives me like proper South American vibes.
Yeah, he literally gives me Messi vibes.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, just that classical, like, South American little dancer. Your little dancer.
Yeah.
Right.
Mo Salah, little dancer.
Mo Salah, little dancer. Right, final one, boys, on the game, and we'll get on to other talking points and obviously the Newcastle preview. But the final thing, yeah, the disallowed goal from Leo. Obviously, a great run from Lamptey.
Inches away from winning.
Ben would say. Yeah, so we were that close to greatness, boys. That close to greatness. But yeah, no, it was unbelievable, and yeah, very unlucky with that one. So yeah, no. Anything you want to say on that, Leo?
Yeah, Lamptey bodying Robertson probably made every single fan that hates Robertson. I know there's quite a lot of people that dislike him because he's Liverpool shithouse. People don't like Mwepu, he's our shithouse. A lot of people do get wound up by Robertson, so I think a lot of Premier League football fans probably enjoy seeing a 5'5" Tarek Lamptey. So imagine you boys, and I think Robertson's like you two. Imagine either of you just bodying Andrew Robertson.
Yeah, you take me.
Bodying Andrew Robertson like that, and then darting down the wing and almost setting him up for the winner, basically.
Lamptey was quality again. He's so good. He doesn't physically make sense. Like, he doesn't actually look like he should play like he does. Like, he's so
it's
quick.
Like a bumblebee. I know, isn't it? Like, it's like physically, they shouldn't be able to fly because of their weight compared to their wings.
Yeah,
similar to Lamptey.
Yeah. But he's
it is
so
by
small.
Gravity.
He's so small to the pace makes sense, but then how strong he is when he's so small, that doesn't make sense, because you've got Andy Robertson, who's, let's face it, probably the best left back in the world, coming up against him, proper shoving him, like, you know, Robertson's a strong boy, and Lamptey just holds him off as if he's not there, stays on his feet, and I think he did a similar thing to Jack Grealish, where he had, you know, him proper shoving him and trying to push him over, because that's the only way you can stop Lamptey. The only way to quite literally stop him is to take him out, and that's why so many people take him out, and he gets himself in these big clashes. But no, I love Tarek. He's just what a player, what a boy as well. He just seems like such a gem.
Final thing I'll finish on, and the two final things I'll finish on. The first one being, I feel like at the moment, and let me know, boys, if you agree or not. But I feel like now our squad depth and our squad, like, you know, it's, with all the injuries sort of coming back, all the players coming back from injury, I feel like now we've had a proper squad. Apart from maybe striker, we're still missing that one striker.
Yeah, up front we're still lacking.
Up front we're still lacking, but in general, would you agree that our squad is looking very good now? Like, there's competition for places, there's quality and depth. Like, it just looks very, very positive as a Brighton fan right now.
Tell you what, I'll throw the unpopular one out. I really wish we kept Ben White. Like, now that I'm thinking about it,
do you reckon?
Yeah, because if we kept him, just imagine them three still. Like now,
just think. It was to make you feel a bit better. Just think we still got that money in the bank, just waiting to be spent on Darwin Nunes next summer. That's all it is.
I don't want Darwin Nunes. He rejected us twice. I don't want him. Get rid of him.
No, he's coming. He's coming.
And then finally,
quickly. No, Mwepu. I just want to say, I think he's only played made 2 Premier League starts now, and I obviously played against Leicester. And I hate to use the cliche, but he does feel like a new signing after having a stinker. Well, played against Burnley, then we didn't see him. Played against Leicester, had a bit of a stinker. We thought, maybe his time's finished. But he genuinely surprised so many Brighton fans with these last few performances. He does. Added another bit of depth in that midfield. But yeah, the one bit we're missing is that striker. We just need a key. We need another key striker. And that's a debate for itself, because I saw someone tweet saying we had better striker depth in the Championship than we do now in the Premier League.
Oh, I saw that. That was definitely bait. That was bait. I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Oh my god.
No. It weren't too Akpom.
That was banter.
Oh, did he?
That was bait. That was bait. Yeah, that was bait.
I didn't see Tuba because otherwise, that's why I thought it was real. I didn't read the Akpom bit.
If he was being serious, the only fair
I'm being serious.
The only fair claim is Murray, because if we had fit Murray, oh my god, we would be the best striker we've ever had. Like if we had Murray,
Tarek Lamptey,
the box.
Glenn Murray of Tarek Lamptey's legs. That would be the ultimate Premier League.
Tarek Lamptey version of Glenn Murray.
So the tiniest legs.
Tiny little legs. It's so funny.
Be the best player of all time. That'd beat Ronaldo's numbers, to be honest, if Murray had Lamptey's pace.
Yeah, that genuinely would.
That kind of pace. That's brilliant. Right, and then to summarise then, boys, the performance, I think we got to give it a 9 out of 10. That was like near to perfection. Sure. I thought, second half, we were fantastic. First 20
actually, do you know what? Right, before we go really like nice and nicey about it, obviously we had a great second half. We had a good second half against City, but why do we have such an inability to start a game? Why does it take us to go 2 or 3 goals down to then think, oh my god, we actually need to start playing football now? It's such a bad trait to have.
The opposition then kind of sit back. I feel like that's when the opposition okay, we can relax a little bit. Which is kind of, I suppose you could say,
City 100%. Yeah, 100%.
They
sat
back
but even
a bit. I feel like maybe Liverpool took it. Maybe they went in a bit of a cruise mode, and then we came out bang up for it in the second half. Which
but even still, I can think of many first half performances where we've been awful, and in second half we're really good. So what is it that whatever Potter says at half time, start saying it before the game, because we need to start strong and finish strong. We've become second half FC, which is great, makes it entertaining, whatever. But I'd rather see us bore out a 1-0 win, but rather than go 2 goals down and then come back to 3. I don't know. I know it is entertaining.
I get where you're coming from. 100%, and it's definitely a valid point, like, to bring up, because we're talking amazing things. Well done, Brighton, amazing, and we have to give credit. Against
the opposition. Yeah,
but I do see where you're coming from. It's like, it's frustrating because, again, there's certain gaps. When I saw, when we went 2-0 down and the first goal, the second goal, I was just like, it's happened again. Like, it was Man City 2.0 again, and I was just like, it's so frustrating. But we changed things up, and it was good to see, because it brings on nicely to the next point. I questioned this in the past. I was like, has Potter got a plan B? When things go bad, can he change things up?
Yeah, he certainly does now, doesn't he?
And he does, and I feel like, I think he sort of answered that to me anyway. Like, my personal critic, he's answered that to me, and he's like, well, I do, because
against 2 of the best managers in the world as well, by the way.
Exactly.
So against Pep, I think we went to like a 4-4-2. I might be wrong. We went to like a flat back 4, didn't we, in the second half against City?
We haven't taken on the current best manager in the world yet, though. We've got to face Thomas Tuchel in Christmas time, so he's the best manager in the world.
That's true. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I feel like that's I feel like that's probably the one result, or the one game I doubt we'll get anything.
I'm scared.
They're just so solid, aren't they?
Back to front, they are different class. Like, they haven't even got a team like City or a squad like City or even Liverpool. They've got a way better team on paper, but there's just something about Tuchel. Whatever he gives these players, whatever he's feeding them, has worked. He's made Mason Mount into probably one of the best midfielders in the league, and it's unbelievable. Like, he's genuinely made that squad into such a good team.
And he's turning wing backs into strikers. Like, we should start Reece James and play him up front with his goals against Newcastle.
Reece James used to be a striker, wasn't he? He was a striker when he was younger.
I think most Premier League players probably used to be strikers back in their
that's what you enjoy doing when you're young,
Stick the best player up front. But back to what you were saying, Maz. Yeah, Potter, plan B for sure.
No, definitely. I feel like he's definitely showing that. But then also, sometimes it's like, I question his plan A. I'm like, he goes into the game, I'm like, should he have done that? But then I fully trust him. I think that's me being being a very, very, very harsh critic, because he is unreal. He's an unbelievable manager.
Watching back Match of the Day, which is one of the first times I watched Match of the Day, God knows how long.
I love a bit of Match of the
Day. Yeah, I don't really watch it too much, to be fair. But watching it back, taking a bit more of a step back on it and seeing how well drilled all of our squad is, you don't really appreciate it when you watch it first time, and then when you watch it second time, you appreciate how good all the movements are and how good, well drilled we are, and how effective the likes of Lallana, the likes of Mwepu were, and you don't really take it in until you sort of watch it back again, if you know what I mean. So when we go and say, oh, Potter's made a mistake here, he shouldn't have played him, he should have done that, we've done this wrong. It's when you watch it back you think, actually no, he hasn't. Like that actually worked, but we just thought he didn't because we were stressing out stupid fan reactionary stuff.
100%.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then final thing, boys, before we get on to the Newcastle preview, just want to talk about, this is purely on footballing terms, for footballing facts, just because obviously it was brought up by another fan channel that I was on. They literally were talking about how good Basuma is, how much they'd love to sign him. It was a Liverpool podcast. They're like, one player we'd love to sign is Yves Basuma, and I think it just showed like the difference of not having him in the team, like especially against Norwich, against Man City. Like you saw how much of an impact he has on the pitch, and I just want to, like he was fantastic before he came off. I think was it McAllister replaced him? I think it was. I thought he was brilliant, and I just want to talk about how much we missed him. Because do you know what? One thing, when I was watching the Norwich game versus Leeds yesterday. By the way, I don't recommend it, so it was awful. Yeah. However, Norman, I was watching Norman, and he was like that feisty player. Yeah, great player. He played really, really well. And I was just thinking, if we had Basuma against Norwich, he would have pocketed Norman. Like as good as he is, he would have pocketed Norman. Like he would have kept him quiet. He would have kept him out of the game, etc. And I feel like he had a big bearing on why we drew 0-0. So
yeah,
how big of an impact was having Basuma back for the Liverpool game and missing him for the Man City game, Norwich game, and all the previous games? That's my question to you, Ben. You kick us off, mate.
Well, yeah, you could tell like we hadn't won since Basuma had been out of the team, which it kind of proves how much we do rely on him and how pivotal he is in our team. It's going to be a shame when we do lose him. I'm not going to say where or if we do, because we are going to lose him eventually.
Yeah.
And we might struggle when he does leave, unless we can turn some other player into, because I feel like Mwepu's maybe too much more of an advanced midfielder.
He's a box to box for me.
Yeah, I don't really see him as the same position, which originally I thought he was when we did sign him. I thought, okay, maybe he's the replacement of Basuma. He isn't. So now that is an issue that we are going to face soon when he does eventually leave. But
I think he's
crucial for our team.
I feel our recruitment strategy is brilliant. So I don't have any doubt that we can replace him. I haven't got any doubts on that. But yeah, Ryan, I feel like you want to jump in here.
Bring Norman back, mate. If we lose Basuma, bring Norman back. Honestly, he is different class. Like genuinely, he's so good. Why we let go of him? I have no idea. What was the why? Like unless it's for game time.
I think at the time,
loan him.
We did loan him, but then we sold him to like Rostov.
We sold him.
He obviously clearly didn't show enough ability when he was at us, and he's just obviously really improved his time at the Rostov.
I think that's going to be the case with a lot of players going forward, because I feel like now we're producing so many talented players. It's like where do you fit them all in?
And Ostergaard, like will he stay another season or do go on loan? Or will we end up selling him? Like
Gyökeres at Coventry.
I get into like 22 years old, 21, 22. They're probably wanting to break into the team already because they're young players already in the team. But if they can't, they're not breaking into the team at that age. That's got like a 19-year-old in our team.
Do you know what, mate? I'd take the L and I'd spend 20 million, 25 million on Mattis Norman in the summer. Without even I wouldn't think twice. I'd get Mattis Norman in the summer. I thought he was so good against us. It was ridiculous. We missed Basuma, but you saw Conor Gallagher when we first missed Basuma.
Oh, he's
absolutely
great.
was rampant Gallagher. And probably the best Palace player I've ever seen, right? But when Basuma wasn't there, he run us ragged. But you've still got to be that good to be able to do that. And obviously, we've come up against some serious quality players. But we come up against Arsenal without Basuma. They didn't run us ragged at all. We didn't have any problems in dealing with Arsenal's midfield whatsoever. And people, obviously big up their Lokonga, they big up Thomas Partey. Okay, Lokonga had a few good moments, to be fair. They're nothing compared to what we had in midfield that day. And we come up against Mattis Norman, run us ragged, absolutely run us ragged. He was by far the best player on that pitch for 90 minutes. He had a
point to prove against us, didn't he?
He had a point to prove, 100%, but he was different class. And again, you said at the end yesterday, I didn't watch the Norwich game, I've got to be honest, but you said he was good again.
He was brilliant.
I speak to Chris Reeve quite a lot, shout out Chris. He said, he is genuinely the best player at Norwich we've had in a long time. He said he's been putting in them performances every game. And the fact that, they're 10 games in, they've only won, I think they haven't won a game, and they've lost 8 of them. That's embarrassing. But still,
we accounted for 50% of their points, I got told yesterday, which was which broke me.
Mattis Norman still sticks out, do you know what I'm trying to say? So, if we lose, should we...
And he's only on loan there, which is banter as well.
Norman.
Yeah, on that, I don't doubt he's a great player. However, I would personally want to watch him more. Like, I'd want to see how he gets on until the end of the season. Like, it's not just like a hot
great.
Match.
See him out to the end of the season. But I feel like watching him that game, you can't be that techie based on form. Like you can't be. That was quality.
Like he's got a bit of aggression as well. I like that. He's not just like a little pushover. He actually is a bit feisty as well.
Oh mate, yesterday he got a yellow card and like he showed a bit of fight. Like he was getting into challenges. He was showing a bit of like
you can tell when a player's on a purple patch versus when a player's different class. Like you watch even the likes of Salah right yesterday, day before even whenever it was, a few days ago. Oh, I got flying. So you see how quality he is. The way he just strolls around the pitch. Okay, he didn't really do too much, but you can still tell. We say, okay, you want to go on your argument that he didn't get pocketed because he got an assist. I guess that then goes to show how much of a good player he is, right? He's got that ability to flick a switch and turn it into the next level, right? Mattis Norman strikes me as that. Doesn't need a lot of chances
to create something,
No. And Mattis Norman strikes me as that. When I can seem to remember a couple of times he got the ball and he just outside of the foot travelled it, literally just curled it like that, and it literally just took apart our whole midfield. I think he did it 3 or 4 times, particularly in that second half, I think. And it was just that difference in class, and you can tell when someone's got a difference in class versus when someone's just on a bit of form, scoring a few goals, having a good game. I think he is genuinely like. We've lost out on a proper. That's the first time I'm saying it in a while. We've lost out there. I think we've really missed out on him.
Well, there you go. I mean, I don't think Ryan could be any more, praising Norman. So if you're listening, Brian,
I'm with you. I hope he's on our shortlist. I do hope he's on our shortlist as a Basuma replacement. But it'll be interesting to see who else.
I'll always give credit where it's due. If there's a good player, like as I say, with Crystal Palace, I hate Palace, everything about him. Conor Gallagher is different gravy. He is unbelievable.
Against us, he was by far the best player on the pitch,
100%. And he's been doing it again. He's still doing it. And I think
he's put so many good performances even since then.
Yeah, they'll be lucky to keep hold of him because I think Chelsea, if they need a Jorginho replacement or whatever, don't look any further. You've got Gallagher. Don't go and spend £50 million on a European.
I can imagine Newcastle doing it. I can imagine Newcastle being his move in the summer. I feel like they would give him loads of money. Be like, let's build the team around you. Yeah. That'd be a good
I don't think Chelsea let him go. But anyway, back to Brighton, and finally then Newcastle.
Speaking of Newcastle,
Massive game against Newcastle, because I feel like this is a game now where we really should win this one. I know that sounds very confident and it's very I don't want to go into it being cocky or anything, but I feel like the team we've got now, the run we're as in the confidence around the club, the performance we're putting in. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like this is the game to do it against Newcastle, who themselves have been in very indifferent form, pretty poor form, to be honest. I'm being quite kind there. So I feel like going into the game, I'm like, okay, on paper, this is something we should really be doing. Like we should.
My key things about Newcastle: Callum Wilson, I think he scored 6 goals in 7 games. He didn't score against Chelsea more recently. Maximin has fallen off a bit. I think ever since I put him in my FPL team, he's now not scoring or doing anything, which I'm such a curse to so many players. So I'm sorry that I ever pick you.
I bet you triple captain one of the Newcastle players or something like that, please.
Yeah, I'll triple captain Sam Maximin, watch him score like a hat trick. Good for my FPL, but not for my heart.
By the way, just quickly to interrupt. I've just looked at Newcastle's previous games, and Jesus Christ, I was being very kind. They've picked up 4 points. From their possible 30, they're terrible. They haven't won a game all season, and they are on the back of 3-0 loss against Chelsea, and they just haven't. They're awful. So, carry on, Ben. Sorry,
lost to Spurs as Nuno 3-1 as well, didn't they, or something like that? Especially if Nuno.
If you lose to Nuno 3-1, then you're doing something dramatically wrong. That's for sure.
It's right. Steve Bruce is watching the cricket now, and he spent his whole weekend.
I saw that.
He can just chill, can't he? Now, big up Steve Bruce. He can just chill.
I think he got $8 million payout, didn't he? As well, he got an $8 million payout. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Come move to sunny Brighton, Steve. It was great. You'll love it. Don't be our manager. We don't need you. We don't need you in any football terms.
Yeah,
but just nice to have you around. Yeah, kit man.
Come chill at the beach.
But boys. So we're at home. Obviously, it's a big advantage with the Amex crowd behind us. It's a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday. Hopefully, the Amex crowd.
Even Knockout said it was
Knockout, boys, it's not good.
I love the club, but the fact, the atmosphere is not great. But
it's not
fair
great.
enough.
But anyway, it's true. Saturday, 5:30 kickoff. I feel like we should go into it full of confidence. There's no reason why we can't, we can't beat them comprehensively and beat them sort of 2-3-0.
However, we spoke about it earlier. I feel like same team, maybe one change. Maybe bring Lamptey in and have him run ragged against Newcastle for
Do you know what, Ben? I'm going
That'll be
to
the
switch
third
it up this week. I want to hear your starting 11s for the Newcastle game. And Ryan, I feel like you'll know this quite quickly, so I'll start with you, and then Ben, you go second. I want to hear your starting 11 versus Newcastle.
Me first?
Go on, hit me. Yeah, you go first, Ryan.
Yeah, because I just said mine pretty much, didn't I?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I'd say obviously Sanchez in goal. I'd quite like to go over the three, so I'd say Duffy, Webster if he's fit, and Dunk. I'd like to see, I'd probably like to see Lamptey start if he's fit. Obviously Kukureya on the left wing back.
Despite Solly having a decent game against Liverpool as well, though.
Yeah, it was decent, but he's not Cuckoo.
He's not Lamptey.
Midfield,
He's not Lamptey.
And he's not Kukureya.
midfield, Basuma, Mwepu. I'm gonna say Alexis, and then Lallana, Trossard. I'd say is that everyone?
Yeah, mate. To be fair, Ryan, I think that's literally my team down to a T.
Yeah.
That's exactly the starting lineup I'd go with. I'd maybe potentially keep Modering. I know we've talked about he's been underwhelming and he's not really been performing, but just for consistency's sake and to maybe give him another chance to prove himself, I feel like if he doesn't do it against Newcastle, then it's like, yeah, okay, take him out of the team, let him sort of, get his wits about him again, sort of build up his confidence. But yeah, maybe that's the only change I'd make is the Moda for McAllister. That's the only potential one from Ryan's. But yeah, Ben, any changes there, or you got your own?
Again, like, I feel like I know the second half against Liverpool was unbelievable, and I don't think why would you change that? I get that Lamptey's a great impact sub to have, but against a weaker team that you could say is Newcastle compared to Liverpool, I would definitely start Lamptey, and I don't mind Solly March playing right wing back at all. Bit of an inverted wing back is quite refreshing to see, especially like the balls we play. It works quite well. But yeah, I'd love to see Lamptey start. Get Trossard in a false nine. I'm with Ryan. I wouldn't mind seeing Alexis start, but at the same time, like he's a great impact to bring on, which we might need because we do well against the big clubs, and we don't normally do well against the teams that we should beat.
And I know none of us have mentioned the fact that none of us have put Mwepu back in the starting lineup, which I think is quite interesting because he's our only sort of fit out and out striker at the moment. Well, would you put him back in the team, or would you have him as like maybe as an impact sub if let's say we're trailing, or the game's 0-0, or stalemate, Ryan?
You're only as good as your last game, aren't you? So like we can only go off what we saw last time out, and that was Trossard having a blinder. But to be honest, I don't think that Trossard's had a bad game this season. I think he's probably been. I'd say, to be honest, even player of the season, to be honest. I think he's been so good pretty much in every game. He's adapted his game so much more. He comes deeper. He does a lot more for the squad than he did when he was just on left wing. We tried putting him in at number 10. Was more effective, but probably not as effective. But now that we're putting him up there a bit more, giving him a bit more freedom, I think he works there. And he's done it all season now. And I think I mentioned it. I think it was after Leicester, when he came very deep that game. And it was just one of those eye-openers, really, to see Trossard adapting his game a lot more. And I can't remember what podcast I was on. It might have been Redmen TV or something like that. And I just mentioned the fact that Trossard has definitely, added a lot more to his game. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. But, yeah, I wouldn't have Mwepu probably in the squad because he's not played and we did all right without him. So what's the need to put him in there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm with you on that. Yeah, no, 100%. But obviously, that's what I've said. What I'd like to see, but knowing Potter, he doesn't really ever stick to the same team like consistently. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Neil all of a sudden come in. Trossard drops for whatever reason. Like Potter.
I don't think he can drop Trossard. He can't. Drop,
you never know. You never know.
You never know. How Maz has changed. You can't drop Trossard. Could you imagine Maz?
No.
Oh my God,
no. Last season,
a year ago.
No, but I think it's fair to say though, like he does have like. No one's doubting he's got the quality. Like he possesses the qualities to be a top player. However, I don't think we can all doubt. Even this season, sometimes he has sort of gone a bit missing. Sometimes, like much less.
This season?
Yeah, 100%. Well,
really?
Against
when
against Palace, I didn't think he was very good. I thought he was very average.
I thought he was alright against Palace.
I thought he was bang average against Palace. But like, again, that's me just being super harsh. That's just me being super harsh. But in comparison to last season, he's come on leaps and bounds, as in his consistency. Like this season, in comparison to last season, you got to admit, last season he was so indifferent. Yeah. Like one game, he'd be our best player or one of the, and then the next game, he'd be pants or just wouldn't be in the game at all. Whereas I feel like he's really improved that side of the game this season. But yeah, just quickly going back to the sort of the Newcastle preview, then, boys. I've got another question to pose to you. I'm feeling like to switch it up this week, just to get a bit more insight onto the opposition, because I feel like sometimes we don't really sort of analyse the opposition as much as we should do, really. So what I'm going to ask you is, Ben, we'll start with you. Who are the main threats to us from Newcastle? So I can read you out their starting lineup if you want from their last game against Chelsea.
That's right. I've got the main.
Go on.
I've got them. So Callum Wilson, despite not scoring at Chelsea yet, I think I said it just at the beginning of this little preview. Like he's been consistently scoring.
Yep.
So he's arguably a threat there. So Maximin, his goals and assists might have dropped off since I put him in my FPL team, but he's still got quality. He's still a class enough player to suddenly bring it out and have an unbelievable 10 out of 10
performance. He's a game changer, isn't he?
He is. He really is. Joe Willock's decent in midfield. Other than that, I don't really know. Carl Darlow didn't really play too well.
These names are listing off here. How are they even in the Premier League? Like this is so good. These names.
What? Say Maximin Wilson. Say Maximin Wilson.
Maximin and Wilson.
Maximin
Willock's great. Willock's good.
Willock's all right.
Darlow's normally good.
He's good.
Darlow's normally good.
I wouldn't go great. He's good. He's okay.
He's good. He's good. He's not a championship. None of the people that I've said are championship level.
No.
That's what I was about to finish. I was about to say the rest of them I'm not worried about.
Yeah.
The rest of them I'm not really worried about.
Okay, so let me just quickly before you give your threats or who you think we should be looking out for, I'll quickly run through their team, because in my opinion, apart from the three players we mentioned, Willock, St. Max and Wilson, this is very
Willock's
championship. Right. So Darlow, Manquillo, Kraft, Lascelles, Clark, Ritchie, Longstaff, Hayden, Fraser, and then Wilson and St. Maximin was their last starting.
The only one I'll give the benefit.
Fraser's fallen off, isn't he?
That's it. Hayden, that's it. The rest of them are trash. Yeah, I rate Hayden. He's just a very Dale Stevens-y sort of midfielder, isn't he? Does the hard work. He doesn't really get praised for it.
He does, yeah.
I'd say.
So Ryan, any threats apart from the ones we mentioned already? So apart from St. Maximum and Wilson, have we failed to mention
Fraser used to play well against us, didn't he? When he in his time at Bournemouth, he used to do quite well against us all the time. But he's fallen off pretty hard,
last season, didn't he, for Newcastle or something?
Do you remember that game when we lost 5-0 at the Amex?
5-0, yeah.
Did he play in that?
He scored one or two, I think. Yeah,
that was a shambles, that one. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure anyway. So tried to erase it from my brain. To be honest.
So I think we can all agree. Like, they're three. Basically their main. I think their main threat is their forwards, right? Going forward, say Maximin and Wilson. That's going to be like the thing we're most worried about. You know,
will they even have a manager? That's the biggest elephant in the room we actually haven't spoken about. Will they have a manager by then?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Will the fact that, and I suppose Conte wasn't really ever going to be linked with Newcastle.
I mean, listen,
I was going to say that job vacancy might have
Conte
hurried
would
up.
go to Newcastle is living in absolute
at this point as well.
dreamland.
Yeah, that's mad.
You must be off your rocker.
Yeah, I doubt they will, because it seems it's gone a bit quiet about their replacement, hasn't it? I know they've got to take their time because there's a lot of games left in the season to rescue them being the bottom three. But yeah, they are taking their time of hiring a new manager. Yeah. You think they would have kind of had one ready to go, like Spurs have had with Conte suddenly?
Yeah, well, a lot of Newcastle fans want Potter, don't they? Well, they'd love. I mean, any club would love Potter, but why would you want to leave? I mean, look, Newcastle obviously got a change of owners. You know,
give him a really big payout. That's the only reason he would go.
Yeah, give us 50 million.
But I don't think Potter's money motivated in that sense. I don't think he is. I don't think he needs the money.
Everyone's not money motivated until they get offered 50 million pounds. Then they're money motivated.
True.
You know
but I genuinely think Potter, I think he's the project. He's put so much time in this project at Brighton, and it's finally starting to pay off. I think he would be stupid to leave suddenly.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Especially like Spurs. Like when he was linked with the Spurs job, I was like, why would you want to leave Brighton where your project's and you could potentially get sacked?
I would understand Spurs because he'd get to restart the project and probably do what he'd done within 2 seasons.
He's already rejected.
He wouldn't have given the time. He wouldn't be given the time, Ben. Yeah, and Ben, he wouldn't be given the time. He wouldn't leave Levy, whatever you want to call him. He would not give him the time. Like he just so wants results now. He doesn't think about the bigger picture.
Levy's a clown as well. Like imagine him trying to work with Levy. Yeah. Just be a complete calamity.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Trying to work with someone who's that strict and corporate. Like how are you ever going to be able to give him time? It's just not going to happen. I mean, look how.
That's why I think we got the perfect balance. Bloom, Ashworth, Barber, Potter. I think that four. Maybe I'm missing someone else, but that four running our club, we're in such good hands.
I mean, Nuno,
and that's why we're going to beat
as 8th
Newcastle
choice.
8-0.
They appointed Nuno's 8th choice. Do you know what I mean? Like, why?
Yeah,
why?
that was a poor decision. I don't know why they hired him.
It was a stupid appointment.
Yeah,
He was at Wolves. Was awful at Wolves, particularly that last season. Got sacked pretty much. I mean, I know he left, but he basically got sacked. No Wolves fan wanted him. Played awful football. They got rid of Jose Mourinho to get a worse version of Mourinho.
Yeah, a week before the cup final as well.
Yeah, appointed him thinking that he's going to do any better than someone who plays equally as bad football as him, but actually gets results. Where is ever the logic in that? So then they got rid of him. Tottenham, always known for playing such attractive football, appoint Nuno, and now they're appointing Conte. Okay. He's a winner, right? That's what they're going to get from Conte.
He's a top-class manager, yeah.
He's not going to go and play nice Tottenham football, though. I think if there's anyone that suits Tottenham the best, it's probably Potter because, obviously, historically, Tottenham were always a team that played lovely football. Sort of the nearly squad that they were, Harry Redknapp. Then, obviously, they had Poch. I think that with what they're doing now, like, they're just going down a dodgy route of trying to get short-term success, I feel, with Conte.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I feel like. I feel like Levy doesn't, or don't know how to say it.
Levy.
Levy.
Daniel Levy.
Yeah, I just feel like he doesn't have that long. Like you said, Ryan. He's just all about the now. He doesn't think about this is a 5-year
big club problem, isn't it? Like,
exactly.
It was the same.
That's why Paul Barber's left him, didn't it?
Yeah. It was the same when I was at Liverpool. Literally, the boys next to me, right? 1 minute they're going, "Oh, how we're the best team in the world!" Like, Liverpool are going to win the league and all this. And all of a sudden, they put a few stray passes together, and all of a sudden they want Robertson out. They want everyone. Like, they're all rubbish. Like, they just
it's so fickle,
all of a sudden everyone's bad. Like, that's just a typical top six behaviour. They expect everything to happen. So quickly.
As soon as they lose, they go, "Oh, everyone's tired." And that's why we lost.
Yeah.
That's why we drew.
Right, final boys. Let's wrap up the pod. Ben, let's start with you. Score predictions, Newcastle, go.
2-0.
2-0 to the Albion, I'm assuming?
Yeah, to the Albion.
Yeah. Scorers, quickly. Goal scorers.
Oh, shit, I don't know. Trossard and... Because as long as he starts, Trossard and Cucurella. He's going to get his goal.
Unpopular one.
Ryan? Right.
I feel like it's going to be a weird medium. Like, it's either going to be we're going to steamroll them and really show that we deserve to be here. We are here to compete for Europe this season, or it's going to be really cagey. But I still reckon either way we're going to win it. I just feel like it's either going to be one of those. It's going to be really narrow because I feel like Newcastle have it in them to frustrate us. But if they don't get,
they held Chelsea for a whole half, didn't they?
Yeah, but if they don't get a manager, I feel like we've got enough to take them apart. Like, you saw their tactics against, was it Chelsea they played last? You saw their tactics. It was literally just like pass it around, hope for the best. Really, there was no tactics. It was just vibes, and then they got smashed in the end. So, I think we've got it in us to take them apart, dependent on manager situation. So I'm going to say 2-0, possibly 2-1.
Their coach is an attacking coach, isn't he? He's like brought in to be the attacking coach because he was actually involved in the England setup as well for the Euros.
Was
he
he?
was brought in to be the attacking coach,
Right.
Because the guy that used to be on Soccer M, that
though.
was the England coach. He ended up going somewhere else. I can't remember.
And goal scores, Ryan. In a, what are you going to go with? 2 or 2-1?
I like McAllister to play. I want him to score because I like him a lot, as you've probably noticed. So I'd quite like him to play.
Norman as well. Matthews Norman.
I can't wait for a year's time. A year's time, Ryan's going to have a beard. He's going to grow into like an Alexis McAllister beard, isn't he?
Yeah,
for sure.
Mate, one day this will connect, and I'm going to look like Alexis. So for sure, that's the next move. But until that
Jack
day,
Grealish meets Alexis.
So hopefully McAllister scores if he plays, and I reckon Big Shane Duffy, if he plays as well, is going to get a header.
Nice.
I'd quite like him to score.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 to the Albion. I'm going to go for them. I think Callum Wilson will score because he does like a goal. Well, usually he's a good goal scorer. And then I'm going to go with, for us, I feel like Mwepu's going to carry on his hot streak.
Imagine 3 in a row from Mwepu. Woof.
Oh mate, big Mwepu. Mwepu, and I'm going to go with. Also, I'm going down the line of Ryan set pieces. I'm going to go with Dunk. So Dunk and Mwepu, 2-1 win. Wilson for them.
I hope we win.
None of these people score. I guarantee you it just doesn't happen. Not a single person we've just named, because we've got really outside of the box here. We've got Mwepu. I know Mwepu's not outside of the box, but we've gone Dunk, we've gone Duffy, and Cucurella. I'm not being funny. None of them are going to score. Let's be honest. It's probably going to be.
It's never right anyway. It's
going to be like Solly March.
Robert Sanchez and Jason Steele.
Bobby Sanchez.
Right.
Mate, I beg we win. I'm in Manchester over the weekend, and I'm watching it with my mate is a Newcastle fan. So I really hope. I fucking hope we win. Well, I'm seeing Easy Life and a mate in Manchester. I know.
What's Easy Life?
To get back to. Easy Life. Basically, any FIFA tune ever has they basically done it.
Oh, okay.
More recently, anyway.
Right, boys. Comment down below what we're having this week.
Enjoy Easy Life, Ben. Try and stay sober.
What's that?
Well, that just won't happen, will it? Try and stay sober. That's
Good motivation.
It's good honestly,
motivation.
Right, hand on heart. Apart from one time we went to the FCAs because it was the morning, I've never met Ben sober. And even by the end of the night, Ben wasn't sober. So,
right, listen. Comment down below. Is Ben's an alcoholic? That's what.
I'm finished.
Ben's an alcoholic. That's what we want. Yeah, comment down below. If you're watching on YouTube, Ben's an alcoholic. That's what we want in the comments. If you made it this far and it shows us you've done it, of course, always hit up the like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully, now we're gonna have a little graphic as well. I've sent Ben a little graphic. We're gonna have pop up on the screen.
Man's made my life even harder.
Yeah. So make sure, you do hit that.
Is this
like,
the same Ben graphic subscribe that didn't happen when we did the Knockout podcast? Like, I watched it back and I said, "I'll put a thing up on the screen here of Bobby Zamora's DMs me." It just never was there, was it? Never existed.
I would have had basically. I remembered it, and I was like, I don't have time because I had to rush off and go. I then had to go out for a stag do the next morning.
Let's go get drunk again. Fair enough.
Yeah, basically. Right. Okay, and then keep streaming it on all Spotify and Apple, all that jazz as per usual. Really appreciate it, and also as well, any kind of segment suggestions. We always ask for this, but no one ever does it. But any segment suggestions?
Just because we're perfect. No one has any suggestions for us.
Any guest suggestions? Anything? Any suggestions? Let us know, and we'll try and get them done. But yeah,
we've got a guest on the next podcast, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
Ryan's gone on mute.
Oh, Ben,
brilliant.
Ryan, you're on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a great way to end the podcast. But anyway, we've got a Newcastle guest.
We've got a Newcastle guest, Kendall. Kendall, big Newcastle fan. She's coming on the pod. So yeah, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Ryan, don't say anything if. I don't know. What can we say? What can we say? Because we need to use it. Ryan, don't say anything if you're a Palace fan. All right, peace.